Good morning, everyone. It is February 27th, 2024, a glorious overcast Tuesday here in Tucson, Arizona. It's 9 a.m., which means it's time for our mindful moment. I'm Dr. Jonathan Zenz. I am the senior minister, the spiritual leader here at Unity of Tucson. Unity of Tucson is a loving and inclusive spiritual center right here in Tucson, Arizona, where you get to find your own spiritual path and personal purpose. It's what we support here. And the mindful moment is an opportunity I take every single weekday to join you in this virtual way, to affirm some good, to engage in some spiritual practice, and to be consistent with that, which is why I do it every weekday, because consistency in practice has enhanced the quality of my life. And so that's why I choose to share it with you. Whether you're watching live or on the replay, I would love for you to post a comment and let me know that you're here. Always a delight to see the comments come through. There are a couple that have already come through. Laura, good morning. Good, glorious morning to you. Grateful to see you. Thanks for being here. Sherry Hoffman, brilliant day to all. Yes, and right back at you, Sherry. Grateful to see Beryl. Happy Tuesday, beloved. Grateful to see you this glorious day. Anna, good morning from Anna, working in Scottsdale today. And grateful to take time with you. Well, grateful that you are here. Roberta, lovely day, lovely say. Yes, it is glorious. Reverend Jerry, good morning to you. Sue Craig, grateful to see you. Yes, I see that you were saying lovely day, Roberta. Got it. I do want to, of course, let you know. Here we are. Ready? You are love. You are light. You are life. You are magnificent. And I want you to take a moment to really sense what you feel in hearing those words said about you. What comes up for you? You don't have to respond. You don't have to just, I want you to get a sense of what it is for you. You don't have to tell me. But what does it feel like when I say you are magnificent? Just check in. Just say hello to Audrey as well. Good morning to you, Audrey. So the reason that I ask you what does that feel like is because there was a story that was offered to me this morning when I was on a walk with my sister, and she was telling me about this woman who had a significant amount of wealth, and that she had basically gone to a school and announced that she was going to pay all the student loans for the school, and like until the money ran out, she was donating this amount so that students could basically have their school have their education paid for. And she said, just use it until the money runs out. And the particular school that she went to was there are a number of people of color and people who, you know, traditionally in our society, unfortunately, and it's sad that I even feel like this is something I have to say, but people in our society who tend to not have the kind of generational wealth that would be able to support this kind of thing. You know, so these are people who probably finish school and be in debt for the rest of their lives if this was not part of what unfolded for them. So the reason that I bring this up is because I said, like eliminating that debt is going to free up energetically the flow for so many people in a way that it will grow itself in ways unexpected. And I thought to myself, I think that's kind of what I want to talk about today, perhaps on the mindful moment. So then I was reminded about this. I do an exercise when I teach prosperity, but this is not limited to prosperity. When I teach a prosperity course, though, I invite the students into an exercise where I ask them to write out what I call a spiritual balance sheet. Now, if you're not familiar with accounting, my trying to explain to you what a balance sheet is in the accounting world will hopefully make sense. But on a balance sheet, which is different from your profit and loss statement, on a balance sheet, it basically shows what you owe, or no, sorry, it shows you what you own. What are your assets? What do you own? And then it shows you what you owe. What are your debts? And then there's another section, which is your equity, which is the difference between the two. So you've got what you own, and then what you owe plus your assets or plus your equity equals, they should be equal. So as you own more and reduce your debt, your equity goes up, your value goes up, right? And so I have this practice that I offer to people to do a spiritual balance sheet, which is what are the thoughts and beliefs and feelings that we own, and what are the detrimental things that we offer through thought, belief, and feeling that are basically what we then create as debt in our life. We create it as something we owe in our life. And so I can think very highly of myself. So something that I own is my sense of self-worth, my sense of self-reliance, my sense of self-esteem. That is something that I own. And if I owe something, if there's a spiritual debt, it's the ways that I perhaps discount that notion in mind, and what is left over is the equity. And so the more mental work that I do to alleviate those debts, the more I build up my mental equity and the better my life becomes. So I hope that I've explained that to you well. Because oftentimes what I find is if I say a statement out loud like, you are magnificent, and perhaps you can take that in and you can own that, absolutely. There might be something in the back of your mind that is contradicting that statement and saying, oh, really, you think so? Well, that's something that becomes a debt, and it detracts from that which you owe. And so the work then is to let go of the debts, to build up your spiritual equity. That's kind of the work we're always doing. It's kind of the work that I'm encouraging us all to do. And so it's a metaphor that works for me, and it's something that I like to share because, we're always looking, I think, to increase our sense of self-worth and value and everything, and that is building up that equity. Here's the thing that I have found is that I am always uncovering more conscious mental debts in my mind, but the manner in which I address them unfolds more rapidly now than it used to. I used to really sink into those debts, and they would, the debt would then compound and create more debt mentally. And so it didn't matter how much I owned because, it would lower the amount of equity. And so, how will you build up your mental, spiritual, conscious equity? By increasing your value, increasing your assets, your mental, spiritual assets, and releasing your mental, spiritual debts. That's the work we do. So as I say, you are magnificent. Take that in as an asset and check in to see if there's any way that you've aligned a debt to that, something that contradicts that notion. Just check in. Are you willing to let go of the debt and welcome the asset 100%? That's it. That's the message today. I'm going to invite us into the practice of affirmative prayer, which is the practice of increasing our assets, relieving our debts, and building up our equity. That's what prayer is doing for us. So if it's safe and comfortable for you to close your eyes, I'm going to invite you to do that. As I choose to close my eyes, it allows me to turn the attention to the inner life. And I recognize that the inner life self-generates assets. And it is oftentimes what I take in from the external that supports debt. And so I let go of the external and I trust in the inner life to build up the assets, to release the liabilities, to release the debt. As I place my focus on that inner life, I know that there is only love. There is only light. There is only infinite life. There is only the infinite flow of magnificence, growing, expanding, harmonizing. For there is only God, this spiritual energy of creation. It's the only thing that exists. That is the absolute asset. And I know that that is who and what I am, who and what each and every one of us is, and I recognize that understanding as an asset. And so I choose to own this understanding. I am that which is, and everyone whom I encounter is wholly divine. 100% of them is magnificence. And there is absolutely no separation. There is only this goodness, this light, this life, this love. So as I accept this for myself, and as I understand this to be so for every single person I encounter, for all creation, that we are each identifiable aspects of the infinite, I know that I am growing the equity in mind by releasing anything that is contrary to this notion. I let go of those ideas in mind which hold me back or spiritually diminish, and I welcome only that which grows and expands. And I trust and know that as I release those liabilities, release those conscious liabilities, what I am left with is a magnificent, growing sense of equity. And this enhances the experience of life, for that is its nature. To always be forward-moving, growing, expanding. And it is for this and for so much more that I live in eternal gratitude, knowing that gratitude, too, is an asset. And as I express gratitude, I build up that equity. For gratitude releases anything unlike it. Gratitude releases any liability, releases any debt. I live in gratitude, and I choose gratitude. And so with gratitude and appreciation overflowing from within, I simply let it be. I relax, I trust, I know, and welcome the infinite flow of circulation in its full expression, the inflow and the outflow, rooted in this expanded sense of equity. I let it be. And I affirm it by saying, and so it is. Amen. And there we have it, the spiritual balance sheet. I'm always grateful for this opportunity to share time with you and look forward to seeing you again. I will be back again, of course, tomorrow at 9 o'clock, right here, wherever you're watching from, Facebook, YouTube, or our website. Somebody said it was helpful when I mentioned that, I ask for you to send comments through. I am aware that there's no place to comment on our website. So if you're watching on our website, there's no place for you to comment. I can only see comments from Facebook and from YouTube on the live stream. So I apologize if you're not able to make a comment, but just know that your presence is felt, and I'm grateful for that. Again, we'll see you again tomorrow at 9 a.m. I do, of course, want to remind you of all the things that are happening here. Let me tell you, first of all, 12 Powers class coming up this Saturday. It begins 10 a.m. It'll be on Saturdays from March 2nd to April 20th. You can still sign up for that at unitytucson.com/classes. There is also Dance Zen, a freeform dance experience coming up on Saturday evening at 6 p.m., guided by our very own Sherry Hoffman. It's a freeform opportunity to just move the body. There's no rule. There are some guidelines for safety and things like that Sherry leads you through. But it's an opportunity to let your inner mover out. Come join her for that, 6 p.m. on Saturday. There is also a satsang that is coming up. Self-described traveling monk Brian Lotman is going to be joining us here on Wednesday the 13th at 6 p.m. for a glorious, blissful sound bath, satsang, chanting. It's going to be wonderful. So would look forward to seeing you there. Peace and blessings to you. I look forward to seeing you all soon. Keep building up that equity. That's the message today. And know that I recognize only the magnificent equity that you express in the world. You are magnificent. And for that, I live in eternal gratitude. Be well. Bye, everybody.